Hello, my name is Giselle Gamby and I'm a coach. I've been coaching since 2004. I recorded an open letter to the medical profession after I had a session with a client who was totally damned, brutally damned by an oncologist for following integrative oncology treatment as well. And the effect of that damning on my client was that she went into total despair, into complete despair and fear that she had done the wrong thing because of what the oncologist had damned her for. And this is after actually having had received very positive results in her last MRI and CT scans, where her tumours had actually decreased in size and one of them was no longer detectable. I spoke to my client the next morning, and for 1 hour, this wonderful woman sobbed in despair, having momentarily believed that she had done the wrong thing because of what the oncologist had told her. Now, the oncologist also told her at the end of their meeting, seeing the despair and the emotion that she was in, would she like her to refer her to see a psychiatrist afterwards? The audacity. So a lot of fire rose in me, and I was very intuitively pulled to write an open letter to the medical profession. Not one that damned them, one that was very appreciative for who they are and for what they do, but also asked them to consider, are they present to the power and the impact of their words? Are they present to the impact of their energy? Are they present to the power and the impact of their beliefs and assumptions? And so I recorded this open letter to the medical profession. And when I watched it, I realized that this letter is not only to the medical profession, that it's actually relevant and speaks to people who are currently suffering cancer and other illnesses. So I have created this preface to the open letter for those people who are currently suffering cancer or other illnesses. And may what I share in this open letter to the medical profession, may it be the medicine you did not know you were looking for. Thank you. First of all, I want to express my deep gratitude for the care you extend to your fellow humans. To devote years of your life to mastering your discipline is no small thing. And I can only imagine the personal sacrifices you've made as you've invested yourself in service to your profession. I also want to acknowledge my deep reverence for how much you hold as you care for your patients in their most vulnerable moments, when they are navigating pain, suffering, grief, confusion, anger, despair. And you are also there in moments of hope and relief and gratitude and joy, when outcomes thankfully turn in their favour. To look after another's health and well-being is, in my opinion, probably the highest privilege there is. And so I thank you for your selflessness, generosity, and the many hard miles you've walked. Thank you for your dedication and devotion. Thank you for the brilliance of your minds and the compassion of your hearts. I can only imagine the heartbreak you endure when outcomes are not what you had hoped for. Please know that my love and respect extend not only to your triumphs, but also to those moments of deep loss and sorrow. I'm also moved to say this to you. I know this message isn't for everyone, but I do have a strong feeling that this message will be received as a gift by some. Perhaps a gift you didn't even know you were looking for. And it might be the affirmation of a quiet dissonance you've already been sensing. And so here is what I wish to say. Your presence is also medicine. Your presence is also medicine. The way you hold yourself, shaped by your beliefs about who you are, who you think you need to be, and how you view life, has a direct impact on your patients. Your presence alone can inspire someone to believe in their own innate capacity to influence their healing, or it can leave them feeling powerless, at the mercy of their diagnosis, and resigned to the prognosis being their only destiny. Mindset, belief systems, and energy are not abstract concepts. They are lived experiences that deeply shape whether a patient sees themselves as a passive bystander in their treatment or as an active participant in their healing. 25 years ago, my first son died of a diaphragmatic hernia. He was operated on at 9 days old, and then we took him off life support at 11 days. The grief that I experienced and the ending of an emotionally and physically abusive marriage had me experience much pain and suffering. And yet it's what cracked me open. And I came to see my own unconscious belief systems of unworthiness that would have me even choose such a marriage. As I began to see the unconscious belief systems of unworthiness and how they had shaped my choices, I also discovered a capacity I hadn't known was there. The ability to take responsibility for my inner framework and to choose again, but this time from a place of self-love, self-value, and self-respect. This was the beginning of my awakening. I learned the creative power of taking personal responsibility, in fact, radical responsibility for my life. And while holding it in the consciousness of love, discovered that even the deepest suffering could be transmuted into freedom. Over the last 21 years, as I transitioned from human resources leadership into coaching, I have witnessed many people discover this same truth, that suffering can become a catalyst for authenticity and liberation. Some of those I have coached have faced cancer. Some healed and now live with a profound reverence for the power they discovered within themselves. Some are currently facing the most vulnerable moment of their lives and choosing to meet that with fire, conviction, love, and faith in the face of statistics and chance. Others passed on, and my hope is that they left with a deeper sense of meaning, contribution, and maybe even peace born from their inner healing. And so my letter to you is an invitation. Notice how you hold them, not just the treatment you administer, but through the presence you embody. Have you observed the energetic impact that you are having on your patients? Could your presence possibly be fueled by your own unconscious beliefs? Do you see that they have the power to contribute to their wellness? Or do you see them as powerless to their diagnosis and their outcome in black and white based on the statistics of historical evidence only? Have you thought about the power of your words and the impact on their healing? Just last week, I was on Zoom with someone whose previous test results showed that 3 tumours had decreased in size, and the 4th one was no longer detectable. When she was diagnosed earlier this year with 2 very young children, she decided that a 50-50 chance of survival wasn't enough and chose to take charge of her healing by not only following conventional oncology, but also integrative treatment. When her oncologist learned of this, she blasted her for including integrative treatment. She berated her with damning statements that she had ruined it all. And when my client emotionally unraveled hearing this, the oncologist suggested she see a psychologist. Thankfully, her despair and sense of powerlessness lasted only a few days. And we are now holding that conversation as the catalyst for an even more amplified sense of conviction, determination, love, and fire, and trust in herself, so much so that her test results in November will show even greater results in her favour. Radical remission is not merely anecdotal. It is real. Thankfully, through Dr. Kelly Turner's work, there are more than 1,500 documented cases of radical remission, where patients defied statistically unlikely prognoses by changing diets, releasing suppressed emotions, deepening spiritual connection, and having strong reasons for living. In fact, the painting behind me was painted by the husband of someone who is now in radical remission after being diagnosed with largely incurable stage 4 breast cancer. I have been on the recipient end of incredible cardiologists who have cared for my 90-year-old mum the way they would care for their own mothers. Each time we are in their presence, I am particularly present to how they hold my mum, not just through their expertise, but by how much they value and care for her and have made sure they know our appreciation. My deepest hope is that this letter is not seen as criticism, but as a heartfelt reminder of the profound influence you hold. You are healers, not only through the treatments you prescribe, but through the presence you embody, the words you speak, and the energy you transmit. May more and more people understand the power of their inner resolve and the impact of that on their healing. Thank you.